They say water and fire cannot exist in the same space. One destroys the other. It's the law of nature, the law of physics, the law of everything we understand about this world. But I watched flames turn to water on my own skin. I'm not speaking in metaphors. I'm not exaggerating for drama. I stood there, hands bound, gasoline soaking through my cotton shalwar kameez, the smell of petrol burning my nostrils before the match even touched me, and I watched Prince Khalid bin Ahmed Al Nahyan flick that lighter open. The small blue flame danced in the desert wind. His eyes were darker than that flame, emptier than the vast Arabian sky above us. "You want to pray to your God?" he whispered, his breath hot against my face, reeking of expensive Turkish tobacco and rage. "Let's see if he saves you." The flame touched my sleeve. "But I need to take you back. Back to where this nightmare began. Back to before I became the Pakistani driver who dared to pray in a prince's presence. Back to when I thought I understood how the world worked. My name is Rashid, and I was born into poverty so deep it had its own smell, sewage mixed with curry, desperation mixed with diesel fumes, hopelessness mixed with the sweat of my father's unwashed clothes. Lahore, Pakistan. The old city, where buildings crumble like dry bread and dreams die before they're fully formed. I remember my mother's hands. God, I remember those hands. Cracked like the earth during drought season, permanently stained with turmeric and henna, wrinkled far beyond her 38 years. She would cup my face with those rough palms and whisper, "Beta, you will be different. You will escape this place." I was 17 when the opportunity came, a labor recruitment company promising construction jobs in the United Arab Emirates. Abu Dhabi. The land of gold buildings and infinite possibility. The land where Pakistani men like me sent money home that transformed their families from beggars to kings. $600 a month, the recruiter said, his teeth stained red from pawn. Plus accommodation. Plus food. What he didn't say, plus your passport will be confiscated. Plus you'll work 16-hour days in heat that liquefies your bones. Plus you'll sleep in labor camps where 20 men share one bathroom. Plus you'll become invisible, a brown ghost in a city that only sees its own glittering reflection. But I went. Of course I went. What choice did poverty give me? The marble floors of Prince Khalid's palace were so polished I could see my own face reflected back at me, distorted, stretched, not quite human. That's what wealth does. It distorts everything. Makes monsters look like men and men look like insects. I had been in Abu Dhabi for 3 years when I was promoted from construction worker to driver. Not because I was special. Because I was quiet. Obedient. Because when Prince Khalid's previous driver mysteriously fell from a 4th-story window, they needed someone who wouldn't ask questions. The palace smelled like oud perfume and secrets. Heavy. Intoxicating. Nauseating. Every breath felt like swallowing liquid gold mixed with poison. The walls were cream-colored, lined with calligraphy from the Quran in gold leaf, beautiful words about mercy and compassion, displayed by men who knew neither. "You will drive me to my meetings," Prince Khalid said the day I started, not looking at me, examining his diamond-encrusted watch instead. "You will speak only when spoken to. You will see nothing. You will hear nothing. You will remember nothing. Do you understand?" "Yes, Sayyidi," I whispered, head bowed. He was 32 years old. Educated at Oxford. Fluent in 5 languages. Heir to a fortune that could feed my entire neighborhood for 100 years. And his eyes, I told you about his eyes, they were empty. Like someone had scooped out his soul and replaced it with arithmetic. Calculations. Transactions. Power equations. I learned quickly that evil doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers in British accented English. Sometimes it wears Italian suits and Swiss watches. Sometimes it smiles while it destroys you. I was a good Muslim. Let me be clear about that. 5 times a day, I prayed. Even in that palace of mirrors and madness, I found corners to lay my prayer mat. Far before sunrise, Dur at noon, Asr in the afternoon, Maghrib at sunset, Isha at night. I fasted during Ramadan until my stomach screamed. I gave zakat from my pitiful salary. I recited Quranic verses I'd memorized as a child. But here's what I didn't tell anyone, not even myself: I felt nothing. The prayers were muscle memory. The fasting was obligation. The charity was insurance, paying premiums to a God I hoped was listening but suspected wasn't there. Have you ever screamed into a void and heard only your own echo? That was my prayer life. Words bouncing off heaven's locked door, falling back into my mouth, tasting like ash. I drove Prince Khalid everywhere. To business meetings where men traded human lives like baseball cards. To private clubs where women were bought by the hour. To desert compounds where things happen that I've tried to forget. And every time I witnessed something that made my soul recoil, I would pray harder. Faster. Longer. Allah, forgive me for what I see. Allah, protect me from this evil. Allah, make a way for me to escape. Silence. Always silence. It was a Tuesday when everything cracked open. I remember because Prince Khalid had a standing appointment every Tuesday at 3 p.m., something he never discussed, somewhere he never explained. My job was to drive him to a nondescript building in a wealthy neighborhood, wait 3 hours in the car, then drive him back. But that Tuesday, he got a phone call as we pulled up. An emergency. A business crisis. He barked at me to go inside and cancel his appointment personally. 3rd floor. Suite 307. Tell them I cannot come. Go. Now. I climbed those stairs, my cheap shoes squeaking on polished steps. Knocked on the door marked 307. An old Filipino woman answered, kind eyes, gentle smile, wearing a simple cross necklace. I'm sorry, I stammered in broken English. Prince Khalid cannot come today. Emergency. She nodded, smiled wider. Would you like some water? You look tired, son. Something in her voice, I can't explain it, made me want to cry. When was the last time someone called me son without disgust in their voice? When was the last time someone offered me water without expecting something in return? I stepped inside. And that's when I saw it. On her small table. Next to a cup of tea. A book. Black leather cover. Gold pages. English and Arabic text side by side. A Bible. My heart stopped. My breathing stopped. Everything stopped. That's haram, I whispered, taking a step back. She smiled, that same gentle smile. Is kindness haram? Is love haram? Is truth haram? I ran. Down those stairs, into the car, my hands shaking so badly I could barely grip the steering wheel. But her question followed me. Haunted me. Poisoned me. Is truth haram? That night, lying on my thin mattress in the servants' quarters, staring at cracks in the ceiling, I realized something terrifying. I didn't know what truth was anymore. I only knew what I'd been told to believe. And that realization, that single crack in my certainty, was the beginning of the end of everything I thought I knew. I couldn't stop thinking about that book. For 3 weeks, it consumed me. During the day, I drove Prince Khalid through Abu Dhabi's gleaming streets, past the Grand Mosque with its white domes reaching toward heaven like accusing fingers, past construction sites where men who looked like my father bent their backs under the murderous sun, past luxury hotels where a single night's stay cost more than my yearly salary. And the entire time, my mind was in that small apartment on the 3rd floor. Suite 307. Where a Filipino woman with kind eyes had asked me a question that was slowly dismantling my entire existence. Is truth haram? At night, I would lie awake, listening to the other drivers snore in our cramped quarters, 12 men in a room meant for 4, the air thick with body odor and broken dreams. I would stare at the ceiling and feel my faith crumbling like old bread. Prayer became mechanical. Empty. I moved my lips, but the words felt like lies. Allah, guide me, I would whisper. But which direction was guidance? And how would I recognize it if it came? The silence from heaven grew louder every day. I started noticing things I'd trained myself not to see. The way Prince Khalid looked at the young housekeepers, Pakistani girls, Filipino girls, Ethiopian girls, all of them barely 20, all of them trapped just like me. His gaze was a violation before his hands ever touched them. I'd seen him corner them in hallways. I'd heard whispers. I'd driven girls to medical clinics at midnight and watched them stumble out, makeup smeared with tears, something broken behind their eyes that would never be fixed. I said nothing. Did nothing. What could I do? He was a prince. I was a driver. In this golden cage, we weren't even the same species. But one afternoon, everything changed. We were stopped at a red light near the Corniche. Outside my window, I saw a Pakistani laborer, maybe 60 years old, withered face like cracked leather, spreading out his prayer mat right there on the sidewalk. It was ASR time. The call to prayer echoed from a nearby mosque. And this old man, covered in construction dust, probably hadn't eaten a proper meal in days, was preparing to pray. Look at that filth, Prince Khalid said from the back seat, his voice dripping with disgust. Praying on the street like a dog. Have these people no shame? My hands tightened on the steering wheel. My jaw clenched so hard I thought my teeth would crack. He's just praying, Sayyidi, I said quietly. Too quietly. The silence that followed was dangerous. I felt it press against my neck like a blade. What did you say? His voice was soft now. Deadly soft. Nothing, Sayyidi. Forgive me. No. You said something. You defended that trash. You, who were just like him, a Pakistani dog who should be grateful I allow you to breathe the same air as me. I looked in the rearview mirror. His black eyes met mine. And I saw it then, not just emptiness. Something worse. Hatred so pure it was almost beautiful in its completeness. He didn't just look down on people like me. He wanted us erased. Exterminated. Removed from his perfect world like stains on white marble. I'm sorry, Sayyidi, I whispered, my voice breaking. Please forgive me. He smiled. Leaned back. Adjusted his pristine white kandura. Rashid, he said, pronouncing my name like it was something rotten in his mouth. I think it's time I reminded you of your place. That night, he made me stand in the palace garage for 3 hours. Just stand. No explanation. No reason. His personal bodyguard, a massive Egyptian man named Mahmoud with scarred knuckles and dead eyes, watched me the entire time. Don't move, Mahmoud said. Don't sit. Don't lean. The prince wants you to remember what obedience feels like. My legs trembled. My back screamed. Sweat poured down my face despite the air conditioning. But I stood there, because what choice did I have? My passport was locked in the prince's safe. My visa was tied to his sponsorship. One phone call from him, and I'd be deported or worse, arrested on fabricated charges. I'd seen it happen to other workers who displeased their sponsors. Men who vanished into detention centers and emerged months later as shells of themselves. If they emerged at all. When he finally released me, I could barely walk. I stumbled back to the servants' quarters, my legs buckling with every step. But the humiliation wasn't finished. 2 days later, Prince Khalid announced he was hosting a gathering at the palace. Important businessmen from Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait. Deals worth millions would be discussed. And I would be there, driving guests from the airport, serving drinks, being invisible furniture in human form. I want everything perfect, he told the staff that morning, his voice crisp and cold. These men are considering investing in my new real estate development. If anything goes wrong, I will know exactly who to blame. His eyes landed on me when he said it. A warning. A threat. A promise. The gathering was that Friday evening. All day, the palace transformed into something even more obscene than usual. Flower arrangements that cost more than my father's house. Catered food from Europe, halal, of course, but prepared by Michelin star chefs flown in specifically for this event. An outdoor majlis erected in the palace gardens, draped with silk and lit with lanterns that looked like captured stars. I wore my cleanest white shirt and black pants. Polished my worn shoes until they almost looked respectable. And I prayed that I would survive this night without incident. But prayer, I was learning, didn't seem to work for people like me. The guests arrived in a parade of Bentleys and Rolls-Royces. Men in crisp white thobes and gold-trimmed bishts, smelling like expensive cologne and entitlement. They spoke in Arabic too formal for me to fully understand, classical, educated, dripping with sophistication and casual cruelty. I served drinks. Brought cigars. Stood against walls like a shadow. Heard fragments of conversations about investments, profits, developments that would displace thousands of poor families to build luxury apartments for millionaires. The labor is cheap, one man said, laughing. Pakistanis, Indians, Bangladeshis, they work for nothing and complain even less. They laughed. All of them. Prince Khalid loudest of all. I felt my soul dying. Piece by piece. Cell by cell. Is this what my mother's prayers brought me to? Is this the purpose of my existence? To be furniture in the homes of men who see me as less than human? The call to prayer for Maghrib echoed across the city. The guests excused themselves to the palace mosque, a private, ornate chamber that probably cost more than my entire neighborhood back home. I slipped away to a small storage room near the garage. It was the only place I could find privacy. I spread my prayer mat on the concrete floor, between boxes of spare car parts and cleaning supplies. The room smelled like motor oil and chemicals. I began to pray. But this time, something broke inside me. Allah, I whispered, forehead pressed against the rough mat, where are you? I've served you my whole life. I've prayed. I've fasted. I've obeyed. And you've given me this? You've placed me in the hands of monsters? You've made me invisible? Worthless? Is this your mercy? Is this your justice? Tears burned my eyes. My chest heaved. Show me something. Anything. Prove to me you're real. Prove to me you care. Because I'm drowning, and I can't feel your hand reaching for me. I can't hear your voice. I can't see your face. Silence. The same crushing, suffocating silence that had followed me for 23 years. I don't know how long I stayed there, forehead against the mat, weeping like a child. Could have been 5 minutes. Could have been an hour. But when I finally lifted my head, I saw him. Prince Khalid. Standing in the doorway, watching me with those empty black eyes. And in his hand, he held his phone. Recording. Rashid, he said softly, a smile playing at his lips. Were you just questioning Allah? My blood turned to ice. My heart stopped. My lungs forgot how to breathe. In Islam, what I had just done, questioning God, expressing doubt, demanding proof, this was shirk. Apostasy. Blasphemy. Grounds for death in some interpretations. And he had recorded it. Sayyidi, I was just what? Just committing blasphemy in my palace? He stepped closer, still holding the phone up. Just praying to a God you don't even believe in? Just crying like a woman because your pathetic life is hard? He was close enough now that I could smell his cologne, oud and amber and something else. Something rotten underneath all the expensive scents. You know what happens to apostates, Rashid? His voice was a whisper now, intimate, like a lover sharing a secret. You know what the Quran says should be done with men who doubt Allah? I couldn't speak. Couldn't move. Couldn't think. He leaned in, his breath hot against my ear. I own you. Your passport, your visa, your very existence in this country, it all belongs to me. And now I own your dirty little secret too. He held up the phone, the recording still playing my desperate, heretical prayer. One phone call, Rashid. One video sent to the right imam. And you'll be dead within a week. Legally. Righteously. According to the law of Allah. He pulled back, smiled, a real smile this time, full of teeth and malice and pure, distilled pleasure. But I'm not going to do that. Not yet. Because I've decided you're going to be useful to me. More useful than you've ever been before. What? What do you want? My voice was barely a whisper. His smile widened. Absolute. Complete. Total. Obedience. You will do anything I ask. You will become my hands when I need to do things that must remain untraceable. You will be my weapon. My tool. My property, even more than you already are. He turned to leave, then paused at the doorway. Oh, and Rashid? I'm going to enjoy breaking you. Piece by piece. Until there's nothing left of the man who dared to question God in my palace. The door closed. The lock clicked. And I collapsed onto that prayer mat, surrounded by motor oil and cleaning supplies, and realized I had just been handed a death sentence that would be carried out slowly. Over days. Weeks. Months. I was going to wish he had just killed me tonight. The thing about being owned by a monster is that you stop being human very quickly. You become an object. A tool. A thing that breathes and moves but has no will, no voice, no soul. That's what I became in the weeks following that night. Prince Khalid didn't waste time. The very next morning, he summoned me to his private office, a room I'd never been allowed to enter before. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the Persian Gulf. Mahogany desk. Leather chairs that probably cost more than a car. And on the wall, a massive portrait of his father, the late Sheikh Ahmed, staring down with the same empty black eyes. Sit, he commanded, not looking up from his laptop. I sat. My hands trembled in my lap. There's a man, he said casually, typing something. Pakistani, like you. Works at a warehouse I own. He's been stealing. Small amounts. Thinks I don't notice. He finally looked at me, those dead eyes piercing through my skull. You're going to go there tonight. You're going to teach him what happens to thieves. My mouth went dry. Saidi, I'm just a driver. I don't. You're whatever I tell you to be. He slid a piece of paper across the desk. An address. There's a metal rod in the trunk of the Mercedes. Be creative. And Rashid? He smiled. Remember, I have that video. One phone call, and you're dead. But if you do this, if you prove your loyalty, maybe I'll delete it. He was lying. I knew he was lying. But what choice did I have? I didn't sleep that night. I lay on my thin mattress, staring at the ceiling, my mind fracturing into 1,000 pieces. Who am I? What am I becoming? Is survival worth this? Is breathing worth this? I prayed. God, I prayed like I'd never prayed before. Allah, please. I'm begging you. Show me a way out. Give me a sign. Anything. I'll do anything you ask, just please, don't make me hurt that man. Don't turn me into a monster. Please. 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 I prayed all the positions. Recited every surah I'd memorized. Wept until my eyes burned and my throat was raw. And heaven remained silent. Stone cold. Locked door. Dead air. Silent. When far came that beautiful, terrible pre-dawn prayer, I couldn't do it. For the first time in my life since I was 7 years old, I didn't pray far. I just lay there, broken, staring at the growing light outside the window, feeling Allah's absence like a physical weight crushing my chest. He's not there. He was never there. It was always just me, talking to myself, praying to emptiness. The thought should have terrified me. Instead, it felt like permission. If God wasn't watching, if God didn't care, then what did it matter what I did? What did morality mean in a godless universe? What was sin in a world where heaven was silent? But I couldn't do it. When night came, when I drove to that warehouse with the metal rod in the trunk, when I saw that man, 40-something, tired eyes, wedding ring on his finger, probably had children waiting at home, I couldn't do it. I told Prince Khalid I'd taken care of it. I lied. And I knew that lie would eventually cost me everything. He didn't believe me. Of course he didn't. 2 days later, he called the warehouse. The man was fine. Still working. Still breathing. Still intact. Prince Khalid said nothing. He just looked at me with those black eyes, smiled the terrible smile, and nodded slowly. I see, he said. You need more motivation. That night, he had Mahmoud beat me. Not badly enough to break bones. Not badly enough to leave permanent damage. Just badly enough to make me understand that mercy was a luxury I could no longer afford. I took the beating in silence. Didn't scream. Didn't beg. Didn't cry. What was the point? Allah wasn't listening. No one was listening. When it was over, Mahmoud dragged me to the servants' quarters and dropped me on my mattress like a sack of garbage. The prince says next time, it'll be worse, he said, his voice almost bored. Much worse. I lay there for hours, tasting blood, feeling my ribs scream with every breath, staring at nothing. And I prayed again. I couldn't help it. It was muscle memory. Spiritual reflex. The dying gasp of faith that wouldn't quite let go. Allah, where are you? Why won't you answer me? What do you want from me? How much suffering is enough? When will you rescue me? When will you prove you're real? Silence. Always. Endless. Crushing. Silence. I stopped praying after that. Completely. Oh, I still went through the motions when others were watching, bowing, kneeling, reciting the words. But inside, I was empty. Dead. A corpse performing religious rituals out of habit and fear. The other drivers noticed. "Rashid, are you okay?" asked Imran, a young man from Karachi who still had hope in his eyes. Still believed that hard work and faith would eventually lead to prosperity. "I'm fine," I lied. "You don't seem fine, brother. You haven't been to Jummah prayer in 3 weeks. You barely eat. You look like—" I said I'm fine. My voice was sharper than I intended. He backed away, hurt in his eyes. I'd just lost the closest thing I had to a friend. But I couldn't explain it to him. How could I tell him that I'd discovered God was a myth? That prayer was just talking to yourself? That we were all alone in a cold, indifferent universe, at the mercy of men like Prince Khalid who had no mercy at all? The darkness grew. Day by day. Hour by hour. Prince Khalid gave me more tasks. Degrading things. Humiliating things. Things designed not just to use me, but to break me. To strip away every last shred of dignity and humanity until I was nothing but his puppet. He made me stand outside his bedroom and listen while he violated one of the housekeepers. Made me drive her to the clinic afterward, her silent tears reflecting in my rearview mirror, her shame mixing with my shame until I couldn't tell where mine ended and hers began. He made me lie to other workers on his behalf. Made me deliver threats. Made me watch punishments. Made me complicit in his evil, so that my soul became as stained as his. And every night, I would return to my mattress, bruised in body and shattered in spirit, and try to pray. Try to find that connection I'd once believed existed. Allah, I know I've stopped believing. I know I've lost faith. But if you're real, if you're there, please. This is my last attempt. My final prayer. If you don't answer now, I'm done. I'm finished. I'll accept that you're either not real or you don't care, and either way, I'm alone. I waited. 1 hour. 2 hours. All night. Nothing. As dawn broke and Far's call to prayer echoed across the city, I made a decision. I was done with Allah. Done with Islam. Done with prayer. Done with hope. If I was going to survive, I would survive on my own. No more begging an absent God for help that would never come. But the human soul is a strange thing. You can kill faith, but you can't kill the hunger for meaning. The desperate need to believe that existence has purpose. That suffering has reason. That somewhere, somehow, someone cares. I found myself thinking about that Filipino woman. Suite 307. The one with kind eyes and a Bible on her table. Is truth haram? The question haunted me. Possessed me. Drove me slowly insane. I started noticing Christians around the city. Filipinos, Indians, Africans, all of them domestic workers, laborers, cleaners. The invisible people, just like me. But there was something different about some of them. A lightness. A joy that made no sense given their circumstances. I watched a Filipina housekeeper at the palace, Maria was her name, singing while she cleaned. Actually singing. She worked 16-hour days, sent all her money home to children she hadn't seen in 4 years, lived in a room barely bigger than a closet. And she was singing. Why are you so happy? I asked her one day, genuinely confused. She looked at me with surprise, then smiled, that same kind smile the woman in Suite 307 had given me. Because Jesus loves me, she said simply. And when you know you're loved by God, nothing else can break you. But you have nothing, I said. You're a slave, just like me. I have everything, she corrected gently. I have eternal life. I have purpose. I have hope. I have a God who hears me when I pray. That last part hit me like a punch to the stomach. A God who hears me when I pray. How do you know He hears you? My voice cracked. How do you know you're not just talking to yourself? She tilted her head, studying me with eyes that saw too much. Because He answers, brother. Not always the way I want. Not always when I want. But He always answers. He's not silent like. She stopped herself, but I knew what she'd been about to say. He's not silent like Allah. I couldn't get her words out of my head. For days, they circled my mind like vultures over a corpse. A God who hears. A God who answers. A God who loves. It sounded like a fairy tale. A beautiful lie to make suffering bearable. But what if it wasn't a lie? What if there was a God who actually cared? Who actually listened? Who actually intervened? I thought about the Bible. That forbidden book. That haram text that could get me killed just for touching it. And I realized, I was already dying. Prince Khalid was killing me slowly, piece by piece. My soul was already bleeding out. What did I have to lose? I needed to know. I needed to see for myself what was in that book. I needed to understand why people like Maria could sing in slavery while I could barely breathe in mine. I needed to find truth, even if truth destroyed me. Because the lies were already destroying me anyway. It took me 2 weeks to gather the courage. 2 weeks of watching Maria sing. 2 weeks of seeing other Christians, Ethiopian guards, Indian janitors, Filipino nurses moving through their difficult lives with something I'd never had. Peace. Actual peace. 2 weeks of praying to a God I didn't believe in anymore, whispering desperately into the void, if you're real, show me. If you hear me, answer. This is my last chance. This is my final attempt. After this, I'm done searching. And for 2 weeks, Allah remained silent. So I made my decision. I would go back to Suite 307. I would ask that Filipino woman for a Bible. And I would read it in secret, hidden away, risking everything. Because what was I risking, really? A life that was already hell? An existence that was already death? I would search for this Jesus. This God who supposedly heard prayers and answered them. And if He was silent too, if He was just another empty promise, another cosmic abandonment, then I would finally accept the truth. I was alone. Utterly. Completely. Eternally alone. But first, I had to find Him. Or let Him find me. Tuesday came again. The same day. The same time. The same appointment that Prince Khalid never explained. 3 p.m. Suite 307. My hands were sweating on the steering wheel as I drove him through Abu Dhabi's pristine streets. My heart hammered against my bruised ribs, still tender from Mahmoud's fists 2 weeks ago. In the rearview mirror, I watched Prince Khalid scroll through his phone, his face illuminated by the cold blue light, his expression as empty as always. What if she's not there? What if he goes to his appointment today? What if this is my only chance and I miss it? But as we pulled up to the building, his phone rang. The same pattern as before. The same irritated expression. The same bark of commands. Emergency meeting. Conference call in 10 minutes. He looked up at me, those black eyes meeting mine in the mirror. Go upstairs. Cancel my appointment. 3rd floor. Suite 307. You remember. Remember? I'd thought about nothing else for 6 weeks. Yes, Saidi. And Rashid? His voice stopped me as I reached for the door handle. "Don't take too long. I have places to be." "Yes, Sayyidi." I climbed those stairs on legs that felt like water. Each step was an act of rebellion. Each breath was a prayer to a God I'd stopped believing in. The stairwell smelled like cleaning products and something else, jasmine, maybe, or some kind of incense. Light filtered through frosted windows, casting everything in a strange, dreamlike glow. "Turn back. This is insane. If he finds out, he'll kill you. If anyone finds out, you're dead." But I kept climbing. Because sometimes the fear of living one more day in hell is stronger than the fear of dying. 3rd floor. Suite 307. The same door. The same number in gold digits. I knocked. My hand was shaking so badly I almost missed. The door opened. And there she was, that Filipino woman with the kind eyes. Older than my mother would have been if she were still alive. Wearing a simple floral dress and that same silver cross necklace. Her face lit up when she saw me. Like she'd been expecting me. Like she'd been waiting for me. "You came back," she said softly. Not surprised. Just joyful. I need to cancel, the prince can't." The words tumbled out, rehearsed, mechanical. "I know." She smiled. "He never comes on Tuesdays when his phone rings." She stepped back, opening the door wider. "Come in. We don't have much time, but we have enough." I stepped inside, and the world changed. I know how that sounds. I know it sounds dramatic, exaggerated, impossible. But I'm telling you, the air itself was different in that small apartment. Lighter. Warmer. Like stepping from a tomb into sunlight. The space was tiny. A small living area with a worn couch. A kitchenette with a hot plate and a kettle. A table with 2 chairs. Simple. Poor. But clean. And on every surface, every wall, every shelf, every available space, there were crosses. Small ones, large ones, wooden ones, metal ones. And pictures. Jesus on the cross. Jesus holding a lamb. Jesus with children. Jesus with his arms open wide. His face was everywhere. And his eyes, even in these simple pictures, were nothing like Prince Khalid's eyes. They were full. Alive. Overflowing with something I couldn't name because I'd never seen it before. "Sit, please." The woman gestured to the couch. "I'm Sister Ruth. I know you're Rashid. I've been praying for you since the day you first came here." "Praying for me?" My voice cracked. "Why?" "Because Jesus told me to." She said it simply, matter-of-factly, like Jesus casually gave her instructions. "The moment you left here 6 weeks ago, I heard his voice in my spirit. That young man is searching for me. Pray for him. He's going to come back." My throat tightened. My eyes burned. "I don't understand. You don't know me. Why would your Jesus care about me?" Sister Ruth sat down across from me, leaning forward, her weathered hands clasped together. "Because he loves you, Rashid. Desperately. Completely. With a love that your mind can't comprehend yet. You've been praying to a God who doesn't answer. But Jesus has been answering you all along, you just didn't know his voice yet." No, I shook my head. I stopped praying. I stopped believing. Allah never answered. Not once. Not ever. So I gave up. But you came here. Her eyes were so kind they hurt to look at. You climbed those stairs. You knocked on this door. You stepped inside, even though everything in your culture, your religion, your entire life told you this was forbidden. Why did you do that, Rashid? I couldn't answer. Because I didn't know. Or maybe because I knew and couldn't admit it. Because someone was calling you, she whispered. And deep down, in the part of your soul that your imam and your culture and your fear couldn't touch, you heard him. She stood up and walked to the table. Picked up the book. The black leather cover. The gold-edged pages. The Bible. She held it out to me. I stared at it like it was a bomb. A weapon. A death sentence wrapped in leather. I can't, I whispered. If anyone sees me with that, if Prince Khalid finds out, then you'll die. Sister Ruth didn't sugarcoat it. Yes, that's true. But Rashid, look at me. I forced my eyes up to meet hers. You're already dying. I can see it. Your soul is bleeding out. You're being murdered slowly by that man you work for, by the silence of a God who was never there to begin with. So the question isn't whether you'll die. The question is, will you die without ever knowing the truth? My hands trembled. My whole body trembled. What if it's not true? My voice was barely a whisper. What if Jesus is just another false promise? Another silent God? I can't survive that again. I can't pray into emptiness again. Sister Ruth knelt down in front of me, still holding the Bible. Tears were in her eyes now. Then test him, she said. Jesus said, ask and you will receive. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened. He said, come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. He's not afraid of your doubt, Rashid. He's not offended by your questions. He's not silent like Allah. He speaks. He answers. He shows up. She pressed the Bible into my hands. The leather was warm. Or maybe my hands were cold. I couldn't tell anymore. Take it, she said. Hide it. Read it in secret. Start with the Gospel of John. And Rashid? When you read it, don't just read with your eyes. Ask Jesus to reveal himself to you. Ask him to prove he's real. He will. I promise you, he will. I left that apartment with the Bible wrapped in my shirt, pressed against my stomach, hidden under my jacket. My heart was beating so hard I thought it would explode. Every person I passed on the stairs felt like an informant. Every shadow felt like an accuser. When I got back to the car, Prince Khalid was still on his conference call, speaking in rapid Arabic about real estate investments and profit margins. He barely glanced at me as I slid into the driver's seat. All taken care of, he asked, covering the phone's microphone. Yes, Sayyidi. He waved me away dismissively and returned to his call. I drove him back to the palace, that Bible burning against my skin like a hot coal. Every red light felt like an interrogation. Every police car felt like divine punishment. I was carrying forbidden text in an Islamic country where conversion from Islam to Christianity was punishable by death. Where blasphemy was a crime. Where even possessing a Bible as a Muslim could lead to imprisonment, deportation, or worse. But I didn't care anymore. I was beyond caring. Beyond fear. I needed to know. I needed to see for myself if this Jesus was different. If he was real. If he was listening. That night, after everyone in the servants' quarters was asleep, I pulled the Bible out from under my mattress. I'd hidden it there, wrapped in plastic bags, buried beneath my few possessions. The room was dark except for the light from my phone. 11 men snored around me: Imran, Khalid, Jamal, Ahmed, others whose names I barely knew. Men who would report me immediately if they knew what I was holding. Men who would consider it their religious duty to expose me. I turned on my phone's flashlight, dimmed it as much as possible, and opened the Bible. The pages rustled quietly. The smell hit me, old paper, ink, something else I couldn't identify. The smell of forbidden things. Dangerous things. I found the Gospel of John like Sister Ruth had instructed. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold the book steady. And I began to read. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. I stopped. Read it again. And again. In Islam, we believe Jesus was a prophet. A good man. A messenger. But the Quran was emphatic, Jesus was not God. That was shirk, the unforgivable sin. Associating partners with Allah. But this book, this Bible, was claiming something completely different. It was saying Jesus was God. Not just a prophet. Not just a messenger. God himself, in human flesh. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. I felt something crack inside my chest. A fissure. A breaking open. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. I was living in darkness. Drowning in darkness. Imprisoned by darkness. And this book was talking about light. About life. About something, someone stronger than the darkness. I kept reading. Page after page. Verse after verse. For God so loved the world, that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have eternal life. I stopped breathing. Loved. God loved. In Islam, Allah had 99 names, the merciful, the compassionate, the just, the powerful. But never the loving. Never personal love. Never intimate, desperate, sacrificial love. Allah was distant. Transcendent. Unknowable. You served him, feared him, obeyed him. But loved him? Been loved by him? That was never part of the equation. But this verse, this single verse, was saying something that shattered everything I'd ever been taught. God loved. Loved so much that he gave. Sacrificed. Suffered. For me. For the world. For people like me, worthless, broken, enslaved Pakistani drivers who nobody cared about. I read until my eyes burned. Until my phone battery was nearly dead. Until the first hints of Far's light began creeping through the window. And then I did something I thought I'd never do again. I prayed. Not to Allah. Not the ritualized, memorized prayers of Islam. But to Jesus. Direct. Personal. Desperate. Jesus, I whispered into the darkness, I don't know if you're real. I don't know if you can hear me. I've prayed to Allah my whole life and heard nothing but silence. But Sister Ruth says you're different. This book says you're different. So I'm asking you, begging you, if you're real, show me. Prove it to me. I need to know. I need to see. I need to hear your voice. Because I'm dying, and I don't have time to believe in another God who doesn't answer. I waited. Listening. Hoping. Terrified that I'd be met with the same crushing silence that had followed my prayers to Allah. But something was different this time. I can't explain it. There was no audible voice. No vision. No burning bush or angelic choir. But there was a presence. A warmth. A sense so strong it was almost physical that someone was there. Someone was listening. Someone was leaning in close, hearing every word, catching every tear. And in my spirit, in that deep place where words don't reach, I heard something. Not with my ears. With my soul. I am here. I have always been here. I heard every prayer you prayed to the wrong name. And now you're calling the right name. And I am answering. I wept. Silently, violently, my whole body shaking. I buried my face in my pillow so I wouldn't wake the others. Because for the first time in my entire life, I didn't feel alone. For the first time ever, I felt heard. I became an addict. That's the only way I can describe what happened to me over the next 3 weeks. I was addicted to that Bible. Addicted to the words. Addicted to the presence I felt when I read them. Addicted to the sound of a voice that actually answered when I spoke. Every night, after everyone was asleep, I would pull that Bible out from under my mattress and read by the dim light of my phone. I devoured the Gospel of John, then Matthew, then Luke, then Mark. The words burned into my mind, into my heart, into the deepest parts of my soul that had been dead for so long. I read about Jesus healing the sick, feeding the hungry, touching the untouchable, speaking to the despised, defending the accused, forgiving the guilty. And I read about him claiming to be God, over and over again, not subtly, not metaphorically, directly, boldly. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Before Abraham was, I am. I and the Father are one. In Islam, these statements would be blasphemy worthy of death. But as I read them, something inside me recognized truth. The same way your body recognizes water when you're dying of thirst. The same way your lungs recognize air when you're drowning. This was truth. This was real. This was the God I'd been searching for my entire life without knowing it. But knowing truth and accepting truth are two different things. Every day, I wrestled. My mind was at war with itself. 23 years of Islamic teaching fought against 3 weeks of reading the Bible. Every verse I read, a voice in my head, my imam's voice, my father's voice, the voice of my entire culture, screamed that this was shirk, this was haram, this was the path to hellfire. You're committing the unforgivable sin, the voice hissed. You're worshipping a man as God. You're betraying Allah. Your mother would be ashamed. Your father would disown you. Your entire family would rather see you dead than see you follow this false prophet. And yet every time I prayed to Jesus, I felt that presence. That warmth. That overwhelming sense of being seen, being known, being loved. With Allah, I had always felt like a servant approaching a king. Terrified. Inadequate. Never good enough. Always one sin away from damnation. With Jesus, I felt like a son approaching a father. Still reverent. Still in awe. But welcomed. Wanted. Pursued. It was the difference between being owned and being loved. And once you feel the difference, you can never go back. I started praying differently. Constantly. Naturally. Not 5 ritualized prayers at specific times, but continuous conversation throughout the day. While I drove Prince Khalid through the city, Jesus, give me strength to endure this man. While I cleaned the car, Jesus, show me your plan for my life. While I lay awake at night, listening to the other men snore, Jesus, I'm scared. I don't know what to do. Help me. And he answered. Not always in words, but in that presence. in small moments of peace that made no logical sense, in sudden strength when I should have been breaking, in hope that had no earthly source. Maria, the Filipina housekeeper, noticed the change in me. "You're different," she said one afternoon, catching me in the hallway. "Your eyes are different. Something happened to you." I glanced around, making sure we were alone. "I'm reading the Bible," I whispered. Her face transformed. Pure joy. She grabbed my hands, tears instantly flooding her eyes. "Jesus found you," she breathed. "Oh, praise God. I've been praying for you. Every day. Every single day." "I don't know what to do," I admitted, my voice cracking. "I believe he's real. I believe he's who he says he is. But Maria, if I accept this, if I become Christian, I'm dead. Prince Khalid will kill me. Or he'll have me arrested. Or deported back to Pakistan where my own family will kill me for apostasy. How do I follow Jesus and survive?" She squeezed my hands tighter. "You don't, Rashid. You can't follow Jesus and guarantee survival. He never promised safety. He promised himself. He promised that whatever we suffer for his name, he suffers with us. And whatever we lose for him, we gain eternally." "That's not very comforting," I said, trying to smile through tears. "No," she agreed. "But it's true. And truth is more important than comfort. I think I always knew it would come to a crisis point. You can't secretly follow Jesus in a Muslim household, in a Muslim country, working for a man who embodies evil, without eventually being forced to choose." The moment came on a Friday. Jummah. The most important prayer of the week. Prince Khalid announced that morning that he was hosting his special Jummah prayer at the palace. He'd invited an influential imam from Saudi Arabia, Sheikh Abdullah, a man known for his strict Wahhabist interpretation of Islam, his hatred of Christians and Jews, his calls for violence against apostates. "All staff will attend," Prince Khalid announced. "Muslim staff, obviously. We'll pray together. Sheikh Abdullah will deliver the khutbah. It will be a blessed day." His eyes found mine across the room. And I saw something in them, suspicion. Knowledge. Like he knew something was different about me. Like he could smell the betrayal on my skin. "Rashid," he said, his voice silken poison. "You'll sit in the front row. Next to me. I want the sheikh to see my faithful employees. My devout Muslim staff." It was a test. I knew it immediately. He suspected something, and this was his way of forcing me to prove my loyalty. That afternoon, I sat in the palace mosque on an expensive Persian rug, surrounded by 50 men in pristine white thobes and kufis. The air was heavy with oud incense and cologne and the weight of religious expectation. Sheikh Abdullah stood at the front, tall, bearded, fierce eyes that looked like they could see straight into your soul and judge you wanting. He began his khutbah. His voice was powerful, commanding, absolute. "Brothers," he said in classical Arabic, "we live in a time of great fitna, great tribulation. The enemies of Islam surround us. Christians who worship a dead man on a cross. Jews who reject the Prophet, peace be upon him. Secularists who mock our faith. And worst of all, apostates. Muslims who abandon Islam for the lies of the kafir." My heart pounded. My hands were sweating. "The Quran is clear about apostates," he continued, his voice rising. "The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was clear. Whoever changes his religion, kill him. This is not metaphor. This is not open to interpretation. This is the command of Allah." The men around me nodded. Murmured agreement. Allahu Akbar. I felt sick. My stomach churned. My vision blurred. Sheikh Abdullah's eyes swept across the room and landed on me. For a moment, just a moment, I felt like he could see everything. The Bible under my mattress. The prayers to Jesus. The transformation happening in my soul. If any of you know of an apostate, he said, staring directly at me, it is your duty, your sacred obligation, to report them. To expose them. To ensure they face justice. Because to protect an apostate is to become an apostate yourself. The words were a noose around my neck. A sword hanging over my head. I bowed my head and pretended to pray. But inside, I was screaming, Jesus. 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 I can't do this. I can't live like this. I can't keep hiding. I can't keep pretending. But if I stop pretending, I die. What do I do? Please. Tell me what to do. And in that moment, surrounded by 50 Muslim men, listening to an imam call for my death, sitting next to a prince who owned my life, I heard his voice. Clear. Undeniable. Gentle but firm. Trust me. Tell the truth. I am with you. My blood ran cold. My heart stopped. Tell the truth? Here? Now. That's suicide. Trust me. I lifted my head. Looked at Prince Khalid beside me. His black eyes were watching me. Studying me. Waiting. And I knew in that moment that he already suspected. That this entire prayer gathering was designed to expose me. To force me into a corner where I'd have to either lie convincingly or reveal myself. Trust me. The voice again. Stronger now. More insistent. I made a decision that defied all logic, all survival instinct, all common sense. When the prayer ended, as men stood and began to mingle, Prince Khalid turned to me. Rashid, he said quietly, come with me. We need to talk. He led me to his private office. The same room where he'd first threatened me. The same room where he'd shown me that video of my desperate prayer. He closed the door. Locked it. Turned to face me. You've been different lately, he said, circling me slowly like a predator. Distant. Distracted. Like your mind is somewhere else. Your heart is somewhere else. I said nothing. My mouth was dry. My hands trembled. I've been watching you, Rashid. Very carefully. And do you know what I've noticed? He stopped in front of me, so close I could smell his expensive cologne. You haven't really prayed in weeks. Oh, you go through the motions. You bow. You kneel. But there's no heart in it. No soul. It's like you're praying to someone else. Or something else. My heart hammered so hard I thought my ribs would crack. I'm going to ask you a question, he said, his voice dropping to a whisper. And I want the truth. Because if you lie to me, Rashid, I will make your death so slow and painful that you'll beg me to end it. He leaned in, his dead black eyes boring into mine. Have you been reading Christian materials? Have you been speaking with Christians? Have you, his lip curled in disgust, been praying to Jesus? Tell the truth. I am with you. Every instinct screamed at me to lie. To deny. To save my life. But I'd spent my entire existence serving lies. Bowing to lies. Imprisoned by lies. And Jesus was truth. And he'd asked me to trust him. So I lifted my head. Looked Prince Khalid directly in his empty eyes. And I spoke the words that would either kill me or set me free. Yes. The word hung in the air like a bomb, For 3 seconds, Prince Khalid didn't move. Didn't breathe. Just stared at me with those black eyes. Then he smiled. That terrible, empty smile. Finally, he whispered. Finally, the truth. He walked to his desk, opened a drawer, and pulled out a gun. My body went numb. This was it. This was how I died. In this office. By this man's hand. For confessing Jesus. But strangely, I wasn't afraid. That presence, that warmth was so strong now that fear couldn't reach me. Jesus was there. I felt him. As real as the gun in Prince Khalid's hand. You've committed apostasy, Prince Khalid said, checking the gun with practiced ease. The worst sin in Islam. You deserve death. But I'm not going to kill you here. That would be too easy. Too clean. He gestured to the door. Mahmoud is outside. He's going to take you to the desert. To a place where no one will ever find your body. And Rashid? His smile widened. Before you die, I'm going to let you pray to your Jesus. I'm going to let you beg him to save you. And when he doesn't, when nothing happens, you'll die knowing that you betrayed Allah for a lie. Mahmoud entered. Grabbed my arms. Bound my wrists with zip ties that cut into my skin. And as they dragged me out of that office, down the marble hallways, past the terrified staff who looked away, past Maria who stood frozen with her hand over her mouth, tears streaming down her face, I prayed. Jesus. I trusted you. I told the truth like you asked. Now what? Is this how it ends? Is this your plan? And I heard him. Not with my ears. With my soul. Watch what I do. Watch what happens when you trust me completely. This is not the end, Rashid. This is the beginning. They threw me in the back of a truck. Covered my head with a black hood. Drove for what felt like hours into the desert. And all I could think was, I'm about to see Jesus face to face. And I wasn't afraid anymore. I was ready. The desert night was cold. That's the first thing I remember when they pulled the hood off my head. Everyone thinks the Arabian desert is always hot, scorching, unbearable heat. But at night, when the sun disappears and the darkness swallows everything, the temperature drops like a stone into freezing water. I was shivering. Or maybe I was shaking from fear. I couldn't tell the difference anymore. They'd driven me 2 hours into the emptiness. Nothing but sand and darkness and stars so bright they looked like holes punched into heaven. No roads. No buildings. No witnesses. Just 3 men: Mahmoud, another guard named Yusuf, and Prince Khalid himself. He'd come to watch. To make sure it was done right. To see me die. My hands were still bound behind my back with those zip ties cutting into my wrists. My knees hit the sand hard as Mahmoud shoved me down. The cold ground bit through my thin pants. Prince Khalid stood in front of me, illuminated by the truck's headlights, his shadow stretching across the sand like a dark angel. He held a red jerry can in one hand. Even from 10 feet away, I could smell it. Gasoline. Do you know why I brought you here, Rashid? His voice was conversational. Almost friendly. Like we were discussing the weather. Because fire purifies. The Quran speaks of hellfire for apostates. I'm just giving you a preview. He walked closer. Unscrewed the cap. The gasoline smell became overwhelming, burning my nostrils, making my eyes water. But first, he said, tilting his head, I want to give your Jesus a chance. You claim he's real. You claim he hears prayers. You claim he's God. He smiled that empty smile. So pray, Rashid. Pray to Jesus. Beg him to save you. Let's see if he answers. Mahmoud grabbed my hair, yanked my head back, forcing me to look up at Prince Khalid. Pray, he commanded. Now. I'd like to tell you I was brave in that moment. That I was strong and defiant and filled with unshakable faith. But I wasn't. I was terrified. My whole body trembled. Tears streamed down my face. Every survival instinct screamed at me to renounce Jesus, to proclaim the Shahada, to say whatever words would keep me alive. But then I remembered something I'd read in the Bible just 2 nights ago. Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, hours before his crucifixion, praying, "Father, if you were willing, take this cup from me, yet not my will, but yours be done." Jesus had been afraid too. Jesus had wanted to escape death too. But he'd trusted his Father anyway. So I opened my mouth. And I prayed. Not in Arabic. Not in the formal language of the Quran. In Urdu. In my mother tongue. In the language of my heart. Jesus, I whispered, my voice cracking, I don't know if I'm about to die. I don't know if this is the end. But I need you to know I believe in you. I believe you're real. I believe you're God. I believe you died for me and rose again. And if I die tonight for confessing your name, then I die as yours. My voice grew stronger. Louder. I'm not afraid of hell anymore. Because you promised that whoever believes in you will not perish but have eternal life. You promised you would never leave me or forsake me. You promised that nothing, not death, not life, not angels, not demons, not anything in all creation can separate me from your love. I lifted my head, looking directly at Prince Khalid, tears streaming down my face but peace flooding my soul. So do what you want to my body. Burn it. Destroy it. Kill it. You can't touch my soul. Because my soul belongs to Jesus now. And he holds it in his hands, where you can never reach. For the first time since I'd known him, Prince Khalid's face showed emotion. Rage. Pure, undiluted rage. We'll see, he snarled. We'll see if your Jesus saves you. He lifted the jerry can and began pouring gasoline over my head. The liquid was cold. Shockingly cold. It soaked through my hair, ran down my face, my neck, my shoulders. It saturated my shirt, my pants. The smell was suffocating. Choking. My eyes burned. My lungs screamed. I heard Mahmoud and Yusuf step back. Heard their footsteps crunching in the sand as they moved away from me. Heard Prince Khalid's breathing fast, excited, like he was enjoying this. Last chance, Rashid, he said, pulling out a silver lighter from his pocket. Renounce Jesus. Say the Shahada. Proclaim that there is no God but Allah and Muhammad is his prophet. Say it, and I'll let you live. The lighter flipped open. The small blue flame appeared. Dancing. Hypnotic. Beautiful and terrible. I thought about my mother. About the life I'd never have. About the wife I'd never marry, the children I'd never hold. I thought about everything I was losing. And then I thought about Jesus. About his face in my dreams. About his voice in my prayers. About the love I'd felt for the first time in my life. About the truth that had set me free even as it led me to this moment. And I made my choice. Jesus is Lord, I said clearly. Firmly. He is the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through him. And I would rather burn for his truth than live for your lies. Prince Khalid's face contorted with hatred. He flicked the lighter. Moved it toward my gasoline-soaked sleeve. Then burn, he whispered. The flame touched my arm. I want you to understand something. I need you to hear this clearly. What happened next, I didn't imagine it. I didn't hallucinate it. It wasn't a trick of the light or a malfunction or a coincidence. It was a miracle. The moment the flame touched my gasoline-soaked sleeve, I felt heat. For a split second, maybe half a second, I felt the beginning of burning. The start of fire. And then the flame turned to water. I'm not speaking metaphorically. I'm not using poetic language. I mean literally, the fire transformed into water. Cold, clean, pure water that flowed down my arm, washing away the gasoline, soaking into the sand. The lighter's flame disappeared. Prince Khalid stumbled backward, staring at the lighter in his hand like it had betrayed him. How? He flicked it again. The flame appeared. He touched it to my other sleeve. Again, water. The flame converted to water the instant it made contact with me. Flowing. Pouring. Impossible. This isn't possible. Prince Khalid screamed. He grabbed the jerry can, poured more gasoline over me. Flicked the lighter. Pressed the flame against my chest, my back, my legs. Every single time water. The fire couldn't touch me. Couldn't burn me. Couldn't harm me. Mahmoud and Yusuf stood frozen, their eyes wide with terror. I heard Yusuf whisper something in Arabic, a prayer, maybe, or a curse. I couldn't tell which. Prince Khalid was screaming now. Incoherent. Raging. He threw the lighter at me, grabbed the jerry can, tried to pour gasoline directly into my mouth. But the gasoline had turned to water too. Sweet, clean water. I drank it. Let it wash over my tongue, down my throat. It tasted like life. And then I saw him. Jesus. He was standing behind Prince Khalid. Visible only to me. His presence was so overwhelming that everything else, the desert, the truck, the men, my fear, faded into nothing. He was exactly as I'd seen him in my dreams, but more real. More solid. More there. He wore a simple white robe. His hair was dark, his skin olive-toned, his eyes were the color of deep water and burning fire at the same time. Ancient and young. Fierce and gentle. Full of power and overflowing with love. He smiled at me. And that smile destroyed every remaining shred of doubt in my soul. Rashid, he said, and his voice was like thunder and whisper simultaneously. My beloved son, did you think I would let you burn? Did you think I brought you this far to abandon you now? I couldn't speak. Couldn't breathe. Couldn't do anything but stare at him. You trusted me, he continued, stepping closer. You told the truth when it cost you everything. You chose me over survival. And now I'm choosing you. Publicly. Undeniably. So that everyone watching will know Jesus is real. Jesus is alive. Jesus protects his own. He reached out his hand. Touched my forehead. And the zip ties binding my wrists snapped. Just broke. Like they were made of paper instead of plastic. My hands fell free. Jesus looked at Prince Khalid, who couldn't see him but who had stopped moving, frozen in place like a statue. This man wanted to kill you in fire, Jesus said. But I am a consuming fire that burns away evil and purifies gold. And you, Rashid, are pure gold to me. Then he looked back at me, his eyes full of tears and joy. Stand up, he said. You're not a slave anymore. You're my son. And my sons don't kneel to men like him. I stood. My legs shook, but they held me. The gasoline, now water, dripped off my clothes, soaking into the sand. Prince Khalid stumbled backward, his face pale in the headlights. He was staring at me like I was a ghost. Like I was something impossible made flesh. "What are you?" he whispered. "What is this? What kind of magic?" "It's not magic," I said, my voice steady now, stronger than it had ever been. "It's Jesus. The Jesus you mocked. The Jesus you told me wouldn't answer. The Jesus you said was a false god. He's real. He's here. And he just proved it to you." "This isn't real," Prince Khalid said, shaking his head violently. "This is impossible. Fire doesn't turn to water. It's a trick. An illusion." "Then explain it," I challenged. "You poured gasoline on me. You lit me on fire. Multiple times. And I'm standing here unburned. Not even the smell of smoke on my clothes. Explain that with logic. Explain that with science. Explain that without God." Mahmoud was on his knees now, his hands raised in surrender or prayer or both. Yusuf had backed all the way to the truck, his face twisted in terror. "The Christian God is real," Mahmoud whispered. "Ya Allah, the Christian God is real." Prince Khalid turned on him, rage replacing his shock. "Shut up. Shut up. This proves nothing. It's a trick. It has to be a trick." But his voice was desperate now. Cracking. Because he knew. He'd seen what he'd seen. Felt what he'd felt. Witnessed the impossible. Jesus was still visible to me, standing beside me now, his hand on my shoulder. "Tell them," he said gently. "Tell them who I am. Tell them why I did this. They need to hear it from you." I turned to face Prince Khalid, this man who had terrorized me, degraded me, tried to murder me. And I felt something I never expected to feel. Compassion. Because looking at him now, I didn't see a monster. I saw a man imprisoned by darkness. A man so empty inside that he tried to fill the void with cruelty and power and control. A man who had never experienced love. Never felt peace. Never touched joy. A man exactly like I'd been before Jesus found me. "Prince Khalid," I said quietly, "Jesus did this miracle not to humiliate you. Not to destroy you. But to show you he's real. To prove that everything you've built your life on is a lie. Allah didn't stop this. Muhammad didn't intervene. Your money didn't save you. Your power didn't matter. Only Jesus. Only his power. Only his love." I took a step toward him. He flinched but didn't run. "He can save you too," I continued, tears streaming down my face now. "I know what you've done. I know the evil you've committed. I know you don't deserve mercy. But neither did I. Neither does anyone. And Jesus died anyway. For you. For me. For everyone. He's offering you the same choice he offered me. Choose life. Choose truth. Choose him." For one moment, just one brief, fragile moment, I saw something flicker in Prince Khalid's black eyes. Something that might have been hope. Or longing. Or the faintest recognition of truth. But then it died. The emptiness returned. The darkness swallowed it. "No," he whispered. "No. I am the son of Sheikh Ahmed Al Nahyan. I am a prince. I don't bow to anyone. Especially not to a dead Jewish carpenter." He turned to Mahmoud and Yusuf. "Get in the truck. We're leaving. Now." "What about him?" Mahmoud asked, gesturing to me. Prince Khalid looked at me one last time. Hatred and fear warred in his expression. Leave him. Let him die in the desert. Let his Jesus save him from thirst and sun and exposure. They drove away. The headlights faded into darkness. The sound of the engine disappeared into the vast silence of the desert. And I was alone. Or not alone. Because Jesus was still there, still visible, still smiling at me. You chose well, he said. You chose me over life. So now I give you life, real life, eternal life, abundant life. The kind of life you were created for. What happens now? I asked. I'm in the middle of the desert. No water. No phone. No way home. Prince Khalid won't just let me go. He'll hunt me. He'll kill me for exposing him. Jesus nodded. Yes. Following me costs everything. But it also gains everything. Trust me, Rashid. Like you trusted me with the fire. Trust me with what comes next. Will you stay? My voice broke. Will you stay visible? Stay with me? He touched my cheek gently. I'm always with you. Always. Whether you see me or not. Whether you feel me or not. I am with you to the very end of the age. I promise that. And I never break my promises. He began to fade. Not disappearing, just becoming less visible. Like he was returning to the dimension where he'd always been present but unseen. Walk east, his voice echoed as his form dissolved into light. Walk east until dawn. Then you'll see my provision. And then he was gone from sight. But his presence, that warm, overwhelming, undeniable presence, remained. I was soaked in water that had been fire. Standing in a desert where a miracle had just occurred. Alive when I should have been dead. And I began to walk east. Toward the rising sun. Toward whatever future Jesus had planned. Toward freedom. I walked through the desert for hours. The sand was soft beneath my feet, making every step difficult, exhausting. The cold night air bit through my wet clothes, still soaked from the water that had been fire. My body shivered violently, my teeth chattering so hard I thought they'd crack. But I wasn't afraid. That presence, Jesus' presence, was so strong that fear couldn't touch me. It was like walking with an invisible companion. Every time my legs wanted to give out, I felt a surge of strength that wasn't mine. Every time my mind wanted to panic, a peace that made no logical sense washed over me. Walk east. Walk until dawn. Then you'll see my provision. So I walked. One foot in front of the other. Through the darkness. Through the cold. Through the impossible. The stars above me were so bright they looked artificial. Like someone had hung diamonds on black velvet. I'd never seen stars like that in the city. Never appreciated how vast the sky was, how small I was, how infinite God was. I started to sing. I don't know why. The words just came out of my mouth, broken, off-key, but genuine. I sang worship songs I'd heard Maria humming. Songs about Jesus' love. His sacrifice. His victory over death. I sang them in Urdu, in broken English, in a language that transcended words. My heart's language. And as I sang, something extraordinary happened. The cold stopped bothering me. My exhaustion lifted. My wet clothes felt like they were drying even though the night air was freezing. It was like I was being sustained by something beyond physical reality. By someone beyond physical reality. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. The verse I'd read in the Bible came back to me. I was weak, completely, utterly weak. But his power was carrying me. His strength was holding me up. Dawn broke across the desert in colors I didn't have names for. Purples and oranges and reds that looked like heaven was bleeding into earth. The sun crept over the horizon, warming my face, drying the last of the moisture from my clothes. And in the distance, maybe 2 miles away, I saw something. Buildings. Low, concrete structures. A small compound of some kind. Walk east until dawn. Then you'll see my provision. I ran. My body shouldn't have had the energy, but I ran anyway. My feet pounded against the sand, my lungs burned, my heart hammered. But I ran toward those buildings like they were salvation itself. As I got closer, I saw a sign in English and Arabic, Lighthouse Christian Fellowship Desert Mission Outpost. A church. Jesus had led me to a church. I stumbled up to the main building, a simple concrete structure with a wooden cross on the door. The sun was fully up now, maybe 6 a.m. My hand shook as I knocked. No answer. I knocked harder. Desperation made me bold. The door opened. A man stood there, Indian, maybe 60 years old, with kind eyes and gray hair. He wore simple clothes, a silver cross around his neck. He took one look at me, disheveled, exhausted, covered in sand and dried salt from evaporated water, and his eyes widened. "Please," I gasped in English. "I need help. I'm a new believer. Jesus, he saved me. Last night. In the desert. Fire turned to water. Prince Khalid tried to kill me. I walked all night. Jesus told me to walk east. And I found you." I was rambling. Not making sense. But the man didn't look confused. He looked amazed. He pulled me inside, calling out in Malayalam, a South Indian language I didn't understand. 3 other people appeared, 2 women and another man, all Indian, all wearing crosses. Sit, the older man said, guiding me to a chair. "I'm Pastor Samuel. You're safe here. Tell us everything." I told them. Every detail. Prince Khalid. The Bible. Sister Ruth. My confession. The desert. The gasoline. The fire that turned to water. Jesus standing beside me, visible and real. The walk through the desert. Finding this place. By the time I finished, all 4 of them were weeping. Pastor Samuel was on his knees, hands raised to heaven, praising God in Malayalam and English mixed together. "Do you know what today is?" he asked me, his voice choked with emotion. "Do you know what day this is?" I shook my head. "We've been praying for a miracle. For 6 months, we've been asking God to send us a sign, something undeniable, something powerful to prove to the Muslims in this region that Jesus is alive. We've been fasting, crying out to God, asking Him to show His power." He grabbed my hands, tears streaming down his weathered face. "And last night we all had the same dream. All 4 of us. The same exact dream. Jesus told us, tomorrow morning, a Pakistani man will knock on your door. He will carry testimony of my power. Receive him. Protect him. He is my messenger to the lost." My breath caught. My mind spun. "We've been awake since 4 a.m., Pastor Samuel continued. Waiting. Praying. Preparing. And now you're here. Exactly as he said. A Pakistani man. With testimony of his power. The fire that turned to water." He pulled me into an embrace, sobbing on my shoulder. "Welcome home, brother. Welcome to the family of God. They gave me food, rice and curry that tasted like heaven. They gave me clean clothes. They let me shower, the first time I'd felt truly clean in months. They gave me a bed in a small room with a window overlooking the desert. And they told me the truth I already suspected: I couldn't go back. Prince Khalid will hunt you, Pastor Samuel said gently as we sat together that afternoon. He won't let this go. You humiliated him, exposed him, proved his God is powerless. Men like him don't forgive that. They erase it. I know, I said. I can never go back to the palace. I understand that. Not just the palace, Rashid. His expression was grave. You can't stay in the UAE at all. Your visa is tied to him. He controls your legal status. One phone call, and you're arrested. And once you're in custody, he didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to. So what do? We help you escape. We have an underground network, churches, missionaries, safe houses. We've helped other converts leave before. It's dangerous. It's complicated. But it's possible. Where would I go? Eventually? Europe. Canada. America. Somewhere you can claim asylum as a religious refugee. But first, we need to get you out of the UAE. We're thinking Oman. We have contacts there. From Oman, we can arrange further travel. I thought about my passport locked in Prince Khalid's safe. How? I don't have documents. Pastor Samuel smiled. God who turned fire into water can certainly arrange a passport, brother. Trust him. Like you trusted him in the desert. I spent 3 days at the mission outpost. 3 days of peace I hadn't known was possible. We prayed together. Read the Bible together. I was baptized in a small tank behind the building, plunged under the water, raised up again, symbolically dying to my old life and rising to new life in Christ. Maria came to visit on the second day. I don't know how she found out where I was, but she showed up in a car driven by another Filipino believer, threw her arms around me, and wept. The whole palace is talking about it, she said. They're saying you performed black magic. That you're possessed by demons. That you escaped through sorcery. Prince Khalid is furious. He's offering money for information about your whereabouts. A lot of money. Is he saying what really happened? I asked. Is he telling people that fire turned to water? She shook her head. No. He's denying it. Saying it never happened. But Rashid, Mahmoud and Yusuf saw it. They're telling people. Quietly. Carefully. But they're telling people. And some are believing. Some are starting to ask questions. My heart leaped. Questions about Jesus? Questions about Jesus. She smiled through her tears. Your miracle is having ripples. People are wondering if Jesus really is more powerful than Allah. If Christianity might be true. Seeds are being planted. I thought about Prince Khalid's offer to save himself. That moment in the desert when truth flickered in his eyes. When he almost chose differently. Pray for him, I said. I know that sounds insane. But pray for Prince Khalid. Pray that his heart softens. Pray that he sees Jesus before it's too late. Maria nodded. I will. We all will. On the fourth day, Pastor Samuel came to me with urgent news. We need to move you. Now. Today. We received word that police are asking questions in nearby villages. Someone may have seen you walking through the desert. Someone may have reported it. We can't wait any longer. Within 2 hours, I was in the back of a van covered with a tarp, hidden beneath boxes of supplies. Sister Ruth was there. She'd traveled from Abu Dhabi with documents. Somehow, miraculously, she'd obtained a fake passport for me. Pakistani passport, different name, exit visa stamped and official looking. "How did you?" I started. "Don't ask questions you don't want answers to," she said with a gentle smile. "Just know that God opens doors that men lock, and closes doors that men open. This is His work, His escape plan. Trust Him." We drove for 8 hours. Through the desert. Through small towns. Past checkpoints where my heart stopped, and Pastor Samuel calmly handed papers to border guards who barely glanced at them before waving us through. At the Oman border, I said goodbye to Pastor Samuel and the others. We prayed together one last time. He anointed my forehead with oil, blessed me, commissioned me. "You're not running away, Rashid," he said firmly. "You're running toward the purpose God has for you. Toward the testimony you'll share. Toward the thousands, maybe millions, who will hear your story and believe." "I'm nobody," I whispered. "I'm just a driver. A poor Pakistani man with no education, no money, no status. Who's going to listen to me?" He smiled. "God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. You think Moses was eloquent? You think David was strong? You think Peter was brave? God uses broken people to display His power, so that everyone knows it's Him, not us." I crossed into Oman. Sister Ruth had contacts there too, a small network of believers who sheltered me for 2 weeks while arrangements were made. Flights were booked. Asylum applications were started. Phone calls were made to refugee organizations in Europe. But Prince Khalid didn't give up. One night in Oman, while I was staying in a safe house in Muscat, armed men broke down the door. 3 of them. Arabic-speaking. Professional. Hired. They grabbed me, dragged me toward a car. I screamed. Fought. Prayed. "Jesus. Jesus, help me." And then something impossible happened again. The lead man suddenly stopped. Dropped my arm like it had burned him. He stared at me, his eyes wide with terror. Who are you?" he stammered in Arabic. "I'm nobody," I said. "I'm just a follower of Jesus." There's someone standing behind you," he whispered. "A man in white. With eyes like fire. He's holding a sword. A flaming sword." I couldn't see anything, but I believed him. Because I felt that presence again. That overwhelming, undeniable presence. The 3 men backed away. Dropped their weapons. Ran to their car and drove away at breakneck speed. I collapsed to my knees, weeping. "Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus." The believers who ran the safe house rushed out. They'd been praying inside, interceding for my protection. And Jesus had answered. Visibly. Undeniably. We moved that same night to a different location. The network worked faster. Within 3 days, I was on a plane. I won't tell you exactly where I am now. For safety reasons, mine and others who helped me. But I'm in Europe. I was granted asylum. I have legal protection. I have a church family. I have a new life. But I also have scars. Nightmares. Moments when I wake up screaming, smelling gasoline, feeling the heat of fire that didn't burn. PTSD, the doctors call it. The price of trauma. I lost everything. My country. My family, who received word of my conversion and declared me dead. They held a funeral for me in Lahore. My mother wept over an empty grave. My father cursed my name. My siblings were told never to speak of me again. I lost my culture, my language, my identity. Everything familiar, everything comfortable, everything I'd known for 23 years. But I gained everything. I gained Jesus. I gained eternal life. I gained purpose. I gained freedom, real freedom, not just physical freedom, but soul freedom. The kind that no chain can bind and no prison can contain. Was it worth it? Would I do it again? Every single time. Without hesitation. Without regret. Without looking back. Because I'd rather have one day of knowing Jesus and being known by Him than 1,000 years of comfort without Him. I'd rather burn for truth than live in luxury with lies. I'd rather lose the whole world and gain my soul than gain the whole world and lose everything that matters. I'm recording this testimony from a small apartment in a European city I can't name. It's late at night. Rain is falling outside my window, steady, rhythmic, peaceful. I've been a follower of Jesus for 11 months now. 11 months since fire turned to water. 11 months since I died to my old life and was born into something I'm still discovering. My apartment is simple. One room. A small kitchen. A bathroom with running water that I still thank God for every single day. I sleep on a mattress on the floor because I can't afford a bed frame yet. I work at a refugee center during the day, helping other asylum seekers navigate paperwork and integration. I attend a small international church on Sundays where believers from 30 different countries worship together in broken English and the universal language of love. It's not glamorous. It's not comfortable. Some days I eat rice and beans because that's all my budget allows. Some nights I lie awake missing my mother, wondering if she's still alive, knowing I'll probably never see her again in this life. But I have Jesus. And He has me. And that changes everything. Let me tell you what my new life looks like. Every morning, I wake up and the first thing I do is pray. Not the ritualized prayers of Islam, no specific words, no specific positions, no obligation or fear. Just conversation. Intimate, honest, raw conversation with Jesus. Good morning, Lord. Thank you for another day. Thank you for breath in my lungs. Thank you for saving me. What do you want to show me today? What do you want to teach me? How can I serve you? And He answers. Not always in words. Sometimes in that gentle peace that settles over my spirit. Sometimes in a Bible verse that jumps off the page. Sometimes in a divine appointment, a person I meet, a conversation that happens, an opportunity that appears out of nowhere. I've learned that following Jesus isn't about religious performance. It's about relationship. He doesn't want my rituals. He wants my heart. He doesn't want my perfect obedience. He wants my honest surrender. He doesn't want me to be afraid of Him. He wants me to run toward Him, especially when I'm broken, especially when I've failed, especially when I'm drowning. With Allah, I was always trying to earn favor. Always wondering if I'd prayed enough, fasted enough, given enough, been good enough. The measuring scale was infinite and I was always falling short. With Jesus, the work is finished. He said it Himself on the cross, it is finished. The payment has been made. The debt has been canceled. The gap between God and me has been bridged, not by my effort, but by His sacrifice. I don't have to earn His love. I just have to receive it. And that truth, that simple, revolutionary truth, has transformed every single aspect of my existence. I'm not going to lie to you and say it's been easy. It hasn't. Following Jesus cost me everything, and some days the weight of that cost crushes me. I miss my family. I miss my mother's face, her hands, her voice. I miss my younger siblings. Did they grow up? Did my sister get married? Did my brother finish school? I'll never know. Because in their eyes, I'm dead. And in a way, I am. The old Rashid, the Muslim Rashid, the son they knew, he died in that desert when fire turned to water. I've been rejected by my culture. Abandoned by my community. I receive emails sometimes from old friends, hateful emails, calling me traitor, apostate, kafir. Telling me I'm going to hell. Telling me I've brought shame on my family. Some have threatened to kill me if I ever return to Pakistan. The loneliness can be suffocating. I'm caught between two worlds, too Pakistani for the Europeans, too Christian for the Pakistanis. I don't fully belong anywhere. Except in the kingdom of God. Except in the family of Jesus. Except in the arms of the one who calls me beloved, chosen, his own. And that belonging, that eternal, unshakable belonging, makes the earthly rejection bearable. But I need to tell you something important. Something I need you to hear clearly. Jesus didn't save me so I could live a comfortable life. He didn't rescue me from Prince Khalid just so I could be safe and quiet and invisible. He saved me to be a witness, to be a voice, to be a messenger carrying the testimony of his power to everyone who will listen. And that's why I'm sharing this story with you right now. Whether you're Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, atheist, or even a cultural Christian who's never truly encountered Jesus, I need you to hear this. Jesus is real. He's not a prophet. He's not a good teacher. He's not a historical figure we analyze and debate. He's alive. He's God. He hears prayers. He answers. He intervenes. He performs miracles. He turns fire into water when his children trust him. I watched it happen. I felt it happen. I experienced it in my own body, with witnesses standing right there. You can dismiss my story as lies. You can explain it away with skepticism. You can say it's impossible, that I'm delusional, that I'm making it up.